and welcome to Sports 360, your weekly dose of all big sporting events across the globe. In this edition of Sports 360, we will analyze how climate change is affecting world of sports. Extreme weather events have already begun to have significant impact on sports in recent years, and United Nations Sports for Climate Action Framework announced a number of emission reduction targets. Records stumble as India defeated Scotland by 8 wickets to back their second win in the T20 World Cup. And Rahul Dravid appointed head coach of Indian men's cricket team to take over from New Zealand series starting November 17. And Liverpool are one of the 4 teams who have qualified for the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League. However, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Manchester United are among a number of clubs with work still to do. And apart from this, we also have our regular segments, Goal of the Week, Player of the Week and Sporting Moments of the Week. But first of the crop story we are tracking this week. Extreme weather events have already begun to have significant impacts on sports in recent years. Sports is a huge multi-billion-dollar business with unique global reach and engagement, with an all-encompassing effort involving all aspects of society and industry required to address the issues of climate change. Many see sports as a tool for communication across the globe.
From wildfires and typhoons to rising temperatures, natural disasters and severe weather are disrupting sporting events around the world. This impacts both competitive and recreational athletes' ability to participate in many sports and affects people of all ages and backgrounds. Representatives of the United Nations, the International Olympic Committee and the Paris 2024 Organizing Committee of the Olympics and Paralympics Games spoke out at COP26 in Glasgow to highlight sports' capacity for action on climate change. How is climate change affecting sports? Extreme weather events have already begun to have significant impacts on sports in recent years. In 2014, matches on all outside courts at the Australian Open were suspended because of heat. The Winter Olympics in Sochi in 2014 was an example of a major winter sports event which needed to use artificial snow to supplement the melted snow at Olympic venues. Matches at the 2019 Rugby World Cup, including England's meeting with France, were cancelled because of Typhoon Hagibis. The marathon at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 was moved because of concerns about extreme heat, while competitors spoke of the brutal condition in the hottest ever games. And by 2050, it is estimated that almost 1 in 4 English Football League grounds can expect flooding every year. What has sport got to do with COP itself? Sport is a huge multi-billion-dollar business with unique global reach and engagement. With an all-encompassing effort involving all aspects of society and industry required to address issues of climate change, many see sport as being a key tool for communication across the globe. The UN recognizes this in the form of their Sport for Climate Action Framework, which asks sports bodies to sign up to 5 key principles, undertake systematic efforts to promote greater environmental responsibility, reduce overall climate impact, educate for climate action, promote sustainable and responsible consumption, advocate for climate action through communication. Some of the world's biggest sporting organizations, including soccer's governing body FIFA and the International Olympic Committee (IOC), have pledged to reduce their carbon emissions and reach net zero by the year 2040. Sports is seen as particularly vulnerable to a warming of the Earth's climate, with several high-profile examples of rising temperatures impacting events such as the Australian Open tennis and the Winter Olympics. The English Premier League, the world's richest domestic soccer competition, said on Wednesday it has signed up to the Sports for Climate Action Framework pledges. Sports Desk, DD India.
India cruised to a comfortable 8-wicket win over Scotland in a Super 12 match of the T20 World Cup in Dubai on Friday to keep their hopes of semi-final alive. After winning the toss and asking Scotland to bat first, India dominated proceedings with the ball. Ravin Jadeja and Mohammad Shami picked up 3 wickets each, while Jasprit Bumrah bagged 2 as Scotland collapsed for a small total of 85 runs. In response, KL Rahul hit a blistering 50 as India chased down the 86-run target with 8 wickets and 80 balls to spare. Jasprit Bumrah went past Yuzvendra Chahal on the night, becoming the India's leading wicket taker in T20 internationals. Rahul Dravid will succeed Ravi Shastri as head coach of the national men's cricket team after ongoing T20 World Cup in UAE. Dravid's 2-year term will begin with the upcoming home series against New Zealand starting November 17.
Rahul Dravid has been appointed the head coach of the Indian cricket team. He will take over from Ravi Shastri, whose tenure will come to an end after the ongoing Men's T20 World Cup 2021. Dravid will take charge of the senior side from the home series against New Zealand that starts with the T20 on November 17th. The series involves 3 T20s and 2 tests. Dravid has been director of the NCA in Bengaluru following 4 years as coach of India A and India Under-19. Under him, India reached 2 Under-19 World Cup finals, losing 1 and winning 1. At the NCA, Dravid helped set up a process for injury management and rehabilitation as well as training programs for coaches across the country and developed roadmaps for age groups, men's and women's cricket. In July, Dravid stepped in as interim head coach for the limited overs series in Sri Lanka. The series was held concurrently with the men's test tour of England, which was helmed by Shastri. Since then, speculation has been rife about Dravid taking over full-time after Shastri's tenure ended. Shastri, who replaced Anil Kumble in July 2017, will end his stint as head coach with many accomplishments. Under him, India became the first Asian team to beat Australia in a test series. They went on to repeat that feat earlier this year. India also made a run to the final of the inaugural World Test Championship, which they lost to New Zealand. Soon after that, they took a 2-1 lead in the 5 test series in England before the series was postponed. The final test will take place next year because of a COVID-19 related concern in the Indian camp. Dravid takes over at a busy time with India set to host New Zealand for 3 T20s and 2 tests. In December, India are scheduled to tour South Africa for 3 tests, 3 ODIs and 4 T20s. Upon their return, India will host West Indies, Sri Lanka and South Africa as part of the 2021-2022 home season. Among Dravid's immediate challenge is to oversee the captaincy transition in the T20 format with Virat Kohli set to give up captaincy after the T20 World Cup. Sports Desk, DD India.
The National Sports Awards have been announced by Ministry of Sports. Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra, wrestler Ravi Kumar Daya, boxer Lovelina Borgohain, Indian men's hockey team goalkeeper PR Sujesh, parachuter Avni Lekra, para-athlete Sumit Antil, para-badminton player Pramod Bhagat and Krishna Nagar, parachuter Manish Narwal, cricketer Mithali Raj, footballer Sunil Chetri, Indian men's hockey team captain Manpreet Singh are the 12 sportspersons who will be honored with the Khel Ratna as a part of the prestigious National Sports Awards 2021. The awardees will receive their awards from the President of India at the specially organized function at the Darbar Hall in Rashtrapati Bhavan on 13th November. The National Sports Awards are given every year to recognize and reward excellence in various sporting disciplines.
The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports announced the National Sports Awards 2021 on Tuesday. The awardees will receive their awards from the President of India at a specially organized function at the Darbar Hall of Rashtrapati Bhavan on the 13th of November. National Sports Awards are given every year to recognize and reward excellence in sports. Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award is given for the spectacular and most outstanding performance in the field of sports by a sportsperson over a period of the previous 4 years. This year, the National Sports Awards will see as many as 12 Indian sportspersons being conferred with the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. The Khel Ratna winners this year include Neeraj Chopra, athletics, Ravi Kumar, wrestling, Lovelina Borgohain, boxing, PR Sujesh, hockey, Avni Lekara, parachuting, Sumit Antil, para-athletics, Pramod Bhagat, para-badminton, Krishna Nagar, para-badminton, Manish Narwal, parachuting, Mithali Raj, cricket, Sunil Chetri, football, Manpreet Singh, hockey. Arjuna Award for Outstanding Performance in Sports and Games is given for good performance over a period of the previous 4 years and showing qualities of leadership, sportsmanship and a sense of discipline. Athletes to get the Arjuna Award are ARPINDER Singh, athletics, SIMRANJIT KAUR, boxing, SHIKHAR DHAWAN, cricket, CA BHAVANI Devi, fencing, Monica, hockey, Vandana Kataria, hockey, Sandeep Narwal, kabaddi, Himani Uttam Parab, Malak Khamb, Abhishek Verma, shooting, Ankita Raina, tennis, Deepak Punya, wrestling, Dilpreet Singh, hockey, Harmanpreet Singh, Hockey. Rupinder Pal Singh, Hockey. Surinder Kumar, Hockey. Amit Rohidas, Hockey. Birendra Lakra, Hockey. Sumit, Hockey. Neelakanta Sharma, Hockey. Hardik Singh, Hockey. Vivek Sagar Prasad, Hockey. Gurjant Singh, Hockey. Mandeep Singh, Hockey. Shamsher Singh, Hockey. Lalit Kumar Upadhyay, Hockey. Varun Kumar, Hockey. Simranjit Singh, Hockey. Yogesh Katunya, Para Athletics. Nishad Kumar, Para Athletics. Praveen Kumar, Para Athletics. Suhash Yatiraj, Para Badminton. Singh Raj Adhana, Para Shooting. Bhavina Patel, Para Table Tennis. Harvinder Singh, Para Archery. And Sharad Kumar, Para Athletics. India won 7 medals in the Olympics and notched up 19 medals, including 5 gold, 8 silver and 6 bronze medals at the Paralympics in the country's best ever show at the 2 sporting extravaganzas. A total of 10 coaches were picked for the Dronacharya Awards. Sports Desk, DD India.
It was another entertaining week in the Champions League as match day 4 offered a flood of goals, with Robert Lewandowski netting a hat-trick and Cristiano Ronaldo bailing out Ole Gunnar Solskjaer once again.
Robert Lewandowski marked his 100th Champions League appearance with a hat-trick as Bayern Munich beat Benfica 5-2 to reach the knockout stages. Lewandowski headed in Kingsley Coman's cross and then set up Serge Gnabry's backheel finish. Morato pulled one back before Lewandowski had a weak, low penalty saved in the centre of the goal. Leroy Sane's sweet half volley and 2 Lewandowski chips, either side of a Darwin Nunez goal, sealed victory. Lewandowski second involved in a wonderful first touch and finish from Sane's pass, and he then latched into Manuel Neuer's long ball over Odyssey's Lacho Dimos from near the edge of the box. Poland striker Lewandowski has now scored 81 Champions League goals, including 4 hat-tricks in his 100 appearances. He has scored 22 goals in 18 games for Bayern this season, including 8 and 4 in the Champions League. Bayern, who have won all 4 games and scored a joint record 17 goals at this stage, are 6 points above second-placed Barcelona, while Benfica are third on 4 points. Cristiano Ronaldo once again rescued Manchester United with a sensational late goal to earn his side a draw against Atlanta that keeps them top of Champions League Group F. The 36-year-old, who also levelled in first half added time, volleyed in from outside the box in added time for his second of the night to earn United a crucial point in Bergamo. Jose Pellicis opened the scoring with a low effort that squeezed under David De Gea at a Vossi-Forest Jewish Stadium, and Atalanta thought Duvan Zapata's 56-minute effort had won it. Ronaldo capped a wonderful move by firing beyond goalkeeper Juan Musso for his first following a delightful Bruno Fernandes backheel after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side had been on the back foot for much of the first half. United were also second best after the break, but Ronaldo, who scored a late winner in the reverse fixture and against Villarreal, delivered with a vital goal to keep United in pole position heading into the final 2 group games. At 2-1 down, United were sitting third in the group and facing the prospect of going out if they lost to Villarreal in their next fixture, but now a win would see them through with 1 game to spare. Juventus beat Zenit St. Petersburg 4-2 to confirm their qualification to the knockout stage of the Champions League. Argentine forward Paulo Dybala scored twice and picked up an assist in Turin. His excellent half volley gave Juve a first half lead, but defender Leonardo Bonucci then headed into his own net. Dybala made it 2-1 from the spot when Federico Chiesa was clipped and the Italian winger added a third himself before Alvaro Morata netted a fourth. Zenit forward Sardar Azmoun scored a late goal in stoppage time to soften the damage, but Juve's attacking quality proved far too much in Italy. Dybala and Chiesa were sublime throughout, and the Argentine could have scored a hat-trick before he was substituted to a standing ovation in the second half. Reigning champions Chelsea moved closer to the last 16 of the Champions League with a hard-fought win 1-0 over Malmo in Sweden. Blues went ahead when Hakim Ziyech converted at the back post following an excellent cross from Callum Hudson-Odoi. Thiago Silva nearly grabbed a second, but his glancing header was cleared off the line by Anel Emedozic. It was another masterful defensive display from Thomas Tuchel's side, who denied Malmo a single shot on target. Chelsea have 9 points from 4 matches in Group H and are 3 points behind Juventus, who booked their place in the last 16 with 2 games to spare when they beat Zenit St. Petersburg. Chelsea need 1 more point to join the Italians in the knockout stages.
Liverpool, Juventus and Ajax all sailed through the last 16 of the Champions League, while Karim Benzema made history as he scored Real Madrid's 1000th Champions League goal. Raheem Sterling ended his 12-game goal draw to wrap up an easy win for Manchester City over Club Brugge at Etihad Stadium. Sterling converted Ilkay Gundogan's cutback to score for only the second time this season and claim his first Champions League goal in more than a year. City replaced Paris Saint-Germain at top of Group A after French side drew 2-2 at RB Leipzig and require a single point from the remaining two group games to seal a spot in the last 16 of the 9th successive season. Liverpool swept into last 16 of the Champions League with a comfortable win over 10-man Atletico Madrid that ensured they will finish top of Group B. Early goals by Diogo Jota and Sadio Mane, both created by Trent Alexander-Arnold, put the Reds in full command, and there was no way back for Spanish side once Felipe was sent off before half-time. With this win, Liverpool through to the knockout stages with 2 games to spare. The win extends the Reds' unbeaten start to the season to 16 games. In total, they have not tasted defeat for 25 matches, dating back to 6 April when they lost to Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the last season's Champions League. Ajax maintained their 100% record as they came from behind to reach the last 16 of the Champions League with a hard-fought win at 10-man Borussia Dortmund. The result sees Ajax top Group C on 12 points, with second-place Dortmund on 6 points alongside Sporting Lisbon. Matt Hummels was sent off for the hosts, who went ahead from a Marco Reus penalty after a foul on Jude Bellingham. But Dusan Tadic, Sebastian Haller and Davy Klaassen scored for Ajax later on. Karim Benzema's double took Real Madrid top of Group D as they held off a spirited Shakhtar Donetsk side in the Champions League. Benzema tapped in the opener to record Real's 1000th goal in the European football's elite club competition. Benzema's second of the match from a glorious move proved decisive for the hosts, who have now won 4 of their last 5 matches in all competitions. Sports Desk, DD India. Liverpool and Ajax each reached for the knockout stages of the Champions League with 2 group games to spare. They joined Juventus, Bayern in the last 16 of the competition with likes of Man City, Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain also look well placed to qualify. However, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Manchester United are among a number of clubs with work still to go. Here, let's take a look at the state of play going into the last 2 rounds of the group matches. And if you take a look at the Group A here in the what do sides need to qualify. In Group A, Manchester City will qualify with 1 game to spare if they beat Paris Saint-Germain in their next Champions League fixture. A draw would also see both the sides progress if Club Brugge will fail to win against RB Leipzig. So PSG is at the top, City at the number 2, and Brugge at the 3rd, and Leipzig at the 4th place. And PSG have the 10 points here, and Man City with 9 points is at the 2nd place. If we talk about the Group B, where Liverpool qualified for the round 16, and Porto could advance with Liverpool if they beat Jurgen Klopp's side on Merseyside, and AC Milan also win against Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. If Liverpool and AC Milan both win in the penultimate round of the fixture, it would leave Porto needing win at home against Atletico Madrid in the final group match to qualify. Right now, Liverpool is placed at the top with 12 points. They have qualified. And in Group C, Ajax already qualified for the last 16. And at number 2 is the Sporting Lisbon. And Group C, with Ajax already through, the final qualification spot could rest on the result of the Borussia Dortmund trip to Sporting Lisbon. A victory for Dortmund would see them progress regardless of the result in the final group of matches by virtue of their better head-to-head record against Portuguese club. The same would also apply if Sporting win more than 1 goal, the margin of defeat in their reverse fixture in Germany. A draw would leave Dortmund seemingly better placed going into their final group game, which is at the home to Besiktas, with Sporting travelling to Amsterdam. And if you take a look at Group D, Real Madrid is at the top with 9 points, still a work in progress. Inter is at the 2nd place with 7 points. Victories for Inter and the Real Madrid would see both European giants to go through before their meeting at the Bernabeu on 7th December. which would then simply decide which club finished top of Group D. However, if the Moldovan champion Tiraspol were to complete a remarkable double over Real, they would move over Carlo Ancelotti's side by virtue of their record against Spanish club. Taking a look at the Group E, Bayern Munich, who had already qualified after securing 12 points, and Barcelona are at the second place with 6 points. A lot of work is remain for Barcelona in Group E. A Barcelona victory over Benfica would see them progress alongside Bayern Munich. The Catalan side will be looking to get the job done at Camp Nou prior to a trip to Germany in the final match. Benfica would leave them in pole position to qualify with the home game against Dynamo Kyiv to follow. And Group F, Manchester United travel to Villarreal, knowing that a win will see them into the knockout stage, having already beaten the Spanish side at Old Trafford. If Unai Emery's side were to win the encounter, it may leave the English club needing to beat Young Boys in their final Group F game to give them a chance to be there in the next round. And if we talk about the Group G, Salzburg, Lille is at the second place, and here also there is a chance for all the teams to be there at the next stage of the UEFA Champions League, that is the round of 16. Right now, clearly is chances for all the teams here to be there to the next round of the UEFA Champions League. And finally, the Group H, where Juventus is already there in the round of 16. After 4 matches, they won 4 matches and they have 12 points in their kitty. Chelsea can also be there in the round of 16. After 4 matches, they won 3 and lost 1, and they have 9 points. And we can clearly see that Chelsea also has a chance to be there in the next round of the UEFA Champions League. Karim Benzema came through again for the Spanish powerhouse, scoring a pair of goals that included a milestone 1,000 for Real Madrid in the Europe's top club competition. And this is Sports 360 Goal of the Week. That's all in this edition of Sports 360. Before we wrap up, we leave you with the compilation of the Olympic athletes reading out statements encouraging the world leaders to take action on climate change. Namaskar.
Dear leaders of the world.
Dear leaders of the world.
Dear leaders of the world.
This summer, at the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games,
we as athletes chased excellence in the face of challenges.
To overcome obstacles.
To lead the pack.
To go faster, higher, stronger.
Together.
Under immense pressure and adversity.
We delivered.
Meeting goals that others believe impossible.
Tokyo and the people of Japan delivered.
When many thought it impossible.
Each Games seeks to deliver a lasting legacy.
But how do we pass on that legacy if there isn't a safe and healthy planet to experience it?
Heat, humidity and extreme weather conditions
mean many of our sports are already under threat.
And sport is just one part of a much greater global picture.
We did our utmost this summer.
And we know that when we strive to achieve our best, others come with us.
Now, it's your chance to deliver.
This is the race we need to win.
And the speed of the race is determined by each of the participants in it.
At COP26,
the Olympics of Climate Summits,
we need you to lead us.
To show real ambition and courage.
Working together to secure the future that we all depend on.
Anything less won't win this race.
To forge the ultimate legacy.
A healthy, safe Earth for all. Yours, athletes of the world.